What's up guys, Azura here, and we're here for our monthly start of the month first impressions of the new set. This time we are on set 7, yeah, I think we're on set 7, featuring support for Kagero, Golds, what was it? Straight up introducing DI as a clan for G, and Angel Feather, right, an Angel Feather, so yeah, if you're wondering where the set 7 pull video is, I just say I've been busy and I kind of didn't have time to edit it, but you'll probably see what I pulled from here because I'll go through my own box, so you'll see here, so you can see how I 4 Titans. But yeah, so this set, overall, it's been what, 5 days into the new set, and I think it's pretty good. I think there's some, well, I think there's one standout from here, and then one playable and 2 not so good from first impressions. So yeah, so first off, we're gonna start off with the clan that I do think is really good for the new support is Kagero. I've been playing the game way more than I've been wanting to this season, and let's just say I've been only playing Blade Master. So Blade Master, I think they got basically 4 new cards, at least 4 cards that I play, and I think these cards are all really good. So first off, the most relevant card is Blade Master Titan. So he is the new this new Blade Master Stride. His skill, so he has Blaze. So Blaze is at the start of every attack step. So so whether it be like start of battle phase, after a unit attacks, it checks for again. So basically at battle phase, every time a unit attacks, after that it'll check the board for state, and if you have more rears than your opponent, your Vanguard going to blaze into a blazing state, and as long and any card that asks for a blazing state, as long as your Vanguard is in blazing state, it works. So the simplest way to explain it is have more rears than your opponents, and you will be in blazing state. All your skills will work. So Blade Master has Blaze, and then he has a CB1, flip anything, and you gain the following 3 effects. Retire one of your opponent's rear guards per face-up copy of Titan you have in your G zone. If a card was retired by an effect other than its own effect, draw a card. During the turn, if a card has been retired by an effect except its own, draw a card, and then GB3, if you're a blazing state, get a crit. So basically I think the crit skill is pretty easy to understand. The retire skill is pretty easy to understand. The draw skill basically means before you use Blade Master's flip, if you've retired any unit with a skill that isn't Titan's own skill, you get to draw a card. So the most common one is Blade Master Stride bonus. So you stride Titan, hop Blade Master, CB1 pop a card, and then once you use Titan's flip to flip anything, you get to draw 1 because you popped a card with a Blade Master Stride bonus. So yeah, that's how this card works. And yeah, this card is actually really good. I pulled 2, I crafted 2, and I do not regret it at all because this who knew that just slapping a draw in Kagero will make the deck really good. And so yeah, Titan, I've definitely in my opinion, a 4 and a really good card for the deck. And then next up, some other support. We have this great one. I have no idea what its name is. He has Blaze, and then his skill is once per turn at the starter. Once per turn, the timing on it is weird as hell because basically, if your Vanguard is in Blaze, and your Vanguard's right through your higher Blade Master, CC 1 and plus 4K. So let's just say you go into battle phase, you have more range in your point. You go into blazing, you instantly get the 4K and the CC 1. If you go in battle phase and let's say you have like even amount of rears, you kill an intercept. You get more now. This thing will now go into blazing state. So yeah, this card is really good because it's CC and it's 11K booster, meaning it scales, or it can be a solo attacker. Not much else to say about it. It scales. It's CC all in one. So it's like the old scaler, old scaling grade one, but it doesn't scale as high, but you get CC on top of it. So I think this card's really good. And finally, we have this dude's also really good. His skill is he has Blaze, and then when this dude attacks the Vanguard, if you are in blazing state, he has plus 2K, and then GB1 on hit to countercharge 1. So it's bellicosity, but it's 11K, meaning it actually is a solo attacker, which is really good. Something to note: the plus 2K does not require the GB1. The only thing that requires the GB1 is the countercharge part of it. So this thing can be a solo attacker early on as well, which is pretty good. So yeah, really good card. The other cards they got, I don't even know what half these cards do because I don't play them. The Blaze PG is okay, but I think I value the CC on the old PG more. But this is an option. If you don't know what it does, with GB1 at the end of your turn, if your Vanguard is in blazing state, slow blocks one massive attack. So you can use this as a booster, which is pretty cool. And finally, I think this card is pretty relevant to talk about as well. This is the Glimmer clone from the deck. I think his name is the Radiant Dragon. So it has Blaze and then GB1 on play if your Vanguard's a grade 3 or higher Blade Master. Soul Blast 1, CB1, retire when your opponent's grade 1 or lower rear guard, so it cannot snipe intercepts. And then against plus 2k, and then against a fallen ability, if you're in Blazing, this unit gets plus 2k per open rear guard, so 20 points board. So the reason why this card's good is because it backward retire is okay, it's a pretty nice skill. You don't really use your soul for much of anything. But this card, if your opponent has a fully empty board, this card by itself becomes 21, which is just hits over defense by itself, which is really, really good. And skills over heal guards ones at 5. This card just has some pretty cool uses overall, all around. So yeah, pretty good card. Definitely worth a few slots in your deck in my opinion. So that's it for Kagero. This is the deck cards I know the most about. And next off, we'll go from order of my opinion best to worst, just cause easier to understand, easier to explain. Golds, I think Golds got some pretty good card. Before they were Gurgurt was like an unplayable dogshit clan, but now it's actually pretty good. Bare minimum usable. First off, we got the Unite PG. So her skill is Unite on play. If you are you don't know how Unite works. Unite is if you've called 2 or more units on that turn. So for this card example, if you're on play, if you are as Unite, and then if you're on play, you can return a grade 1 or higher rear guard back to your deck. They give this card the skill at the end of turn, bounce it back to hand. So if you call her and you've activated Unite, so you've called 2 or more cards before you call this card, or this is the second card called, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but if you called and you're in Unite, you can pay the cost and bounce it back to hand, meaning she is a quote-unquote searchable PG, because if you could fulfill the cost to do this, you just trade a card on board for her a PG at the end of your turn, and she's still a booster for that turn. So I think this card's pretty good. I definitely think you do play it. So that's Unite PG. Next up we have Jeffrey. His skill is Unite, and then at the end of battle that this unit attacked or boosted, you can put him into Soul to draw a card. So this card can trade itself off the board for a card back to your hand. It's Soul for the cost that you may pay for, whether it be like Gurgrit or the Stride Gurgrit. So I think Jeffrey's a pretty nice addition to the deck. This is a Pier clone. This is like the Pier from Royal, the one where like when you play grade 2 in front of it, you get +2. You get +2, and then one thing in front of it get +2. This is basically the same thing. Pretty okay card. And as for these cards, I don't remember her name, but she's pretty good too. She has a Unite if you have 4 more rears, +3k, and resist. So the important thing is she has resist and she has a solo attacker. So 12k resist, pretty good to me. And next up we have this dude, whose skill is Unite +2k, so outworks a solo attacker, and then GB1 on place, CB1 checked off 4, call a card to the same column as this unit. So basically behind it. It's called CB1 call a card behind it, which is pretty good. Let's do call stuff like Jeffrey. You can trade for a card in hand. You can find a PG at the top and then bounce it back to your hand at the end of your turn, or you can leave it on the board for synergy with the Stride Gurgurt and turn that into an intercept. So pretty good card overall. This card has resist and Unite at the end of your turn. Put her slow to CC1. Kind of awkward just because she's an intercept, but she does have resist, so you're more or less playing her just as a resist and a sometimes CC. So this card is probably okay. I've tried her. I don't like her too much, but I can see why you would want to play it, because she does have resist at worst. So yeah, she's an okay card. Next up, we have the dog. So the dog has Unite. This card gains intercept. So as long as you've activated Unite once, this card gets intercept during your opponent's turn. So it's a grade 3 with intercept, which is good. Pretty cool. And then on the turn's place, it gets boost as well, which is also really good, because that's 4 extra boosters in your deck, which is really nice. 4 extra boosters, 4 extra intercepts. I definitely think this is the ideal backup in Gurgurt, just because it just fills the role, because the only thing you want to ever be on is Gurgurt, and he fills the role of both an extra intercept and a boost, which is really nice. So very, very good card. And finally, the strides. We have Glorious Reigning. So his skill is Unite. When this unit attacks, Vanguard, CB1, G-Flip, and choose 2 grade 1 or higher rears and put them back into your deck to call up to the same number of check top 7, and then call the same number of cards as the number of face-up cards you have in your G zone. And if you have I think it's if you have the same name as this unit in your G zone, you can CC1, which is just there. But yeah, CC, which is pretty nice. And then just being able to just reset an entire board to swing with is really nice as well. So yeah, yeah. And as you see, he's not tied to GBT or anything, so you could use him as first drive, but he'd basically only be a call 1 on first drive, just kind of whatever. But overall, I think this card is definitely a really good, very good finisher for golds. So, and definitely worth the slots, and definitely worth trying to get at least 2, probably a playset. So yeah. And finally, we have the Gurgrit Stride. So the Gurgrit Stride skill, the Gurgrit Stride skill is Unite, and then Soul Blast 2, CB1, and flip anything. But this card might as well read G flip because you need phase a copy of yourself in your G zone to use actually use this skill. But his skill is Soul Blast 2, CB1, flip anything, and then so what does this card do again? Basically I don't remember the exact wording of this card, but this card basically just gives everything in your board +5, and then he gets a crit. But the other skill that's pretty relevant is that if you have a basic copy of himself in your G zone, so basically if you flip itself, yeah, you can at the end of the turn you can choose 2 units with the Unite skill and put it back to the deck to CC1, and then your back row units can intercept. Your back row gains intercept, and it can intercept from the back row. So basically meaning since you have to put 2 back for the skill, you put 2. Let's just say you put 2 front row back, your entire back row cannot be intercepts. Or you put like 2 back row and you have 2 front rows that can intercept. You basically do that. So basically, the end board for this is you get 3 intercepts for your turn, which is basically like the gimmick that we've seen from this current set. Everything this deck can do it, DI can do it. They gain like multiple intercepts on the board, making multi-attack decks life more annoying. So yeah, so this card is definitely really good against decks that like need to go like rear, and then Vanguard to do all those cool multi-attack stuff. So like Night Rose, Alt Mile, all that cool stuff, Aqua Force, all that cool stuff. This card just says no to that because they don't have a way to retire one of those intercepts off. They cannot swing van to van because they have to deal with the intercepts. So this card definitely, I think this card's actually really good. I think this card is a minimum 2 of, maybe even a 4 of, maybe a 3 of, because you could technically just stride 1, flip it, and then next one you stride again and you flip something else. So yeah, pretty good card. I think Gurgit's definitely really good. And that's it for gold. Next off, DI. So if you haven't figured it out by now, I think that Angel Feather is probably the worst clan out of the set. But yeah, DI. I have no idea what any of the names of these cards are. I don't even know what half these cards do. But I will go over the cards I think are relevant. So all the high rated cards basically. So this card I know is like you CB1 to draw or something, and then you like do stuff, and it's also stride fodder. Again, I don't know anything about this clan. I haven't read any of these cards either. I just kind of see this clan ladder and go, wow, this deck sucks. And yeah, I know this card like in Soul it can like draw you a card for like CB1 or something, and stride fodder in hand. So card's probably okay. I know this card's good. The assassin dude. So he has I know this dude has darkness, so I think darkness keyword is like you soul charge a bunch of stuff, and then if you have that many cards in your soul, it gains effects. So this thing's a 10k, and then the important skill is that if you have 10 soul, this thing gains intercept from the back row, so again more intercepts. This card's really good. And we have the darkness PG, so her skill is in soul you can retire a grade 1 or lower to add her from soul to hand, which is pretty cool. If you soul charge it, you can always add to hand, which is really nice. I don't know what any of these cards do, so I'm just gonna go skip over them, pretending they're not there. I know Sharheart's an okay card. I think his skill is I know his GB2 is and you have 6 soul plus 10k. If you have 10 or more plus crit, which is pretty cool. So he gets pretty big numbers and he has a crit. I think it says on stride, you soul blast, you soul charge 2, and you gain the following 2 abilities. It has something, it does something, and then it gains, and then at the end of your turn, if you have 10 or more, you choose 2 random cards from your drop and put them back into your deck, and then you retire a opponent's back row rear at random. Right, that's the, if you have 6 or more, it retires an opponent's back row rear at random, or retires opponent's rear with prio to random back row, and then 10 or more, you choose 2 cards from your drop, 2 cards from your drop at random go back to the deck, I think. So has a nice skill to help them not deck out, so it's pretty cool, I guess. It's okay, probably okay. And then the strides, I do know what they do. I think at least the GRs. As you can see, I don't know what any of these cards do. I don't intend to read them until I intend to build the deck. So I'm sorry that these are not the best explanations for DI, but you have to bear with it because I cannot find a translation to save my life. because they're all scattered everywhere. I'm too lazy to find them because it's no longer on the database. But Gildereus, his skill is GB2 when Hex Vanguard, G flip to gain a crit. If you have 10 or more, plus 10. If you have 13 or more, it gains the Glory skill. So they cannot guard unless they drop a PG, grade 3 as well. So yeah, Glory is Glory. It gets really big, so it beats over heal guards as well, I guess. But Glory is fine. It's whatever. And finally, we have the Sharheart Stride. So his skill is GB2. I think it's on place. CB1 flip anything to gain 10k, and if you have 10 or more, 10 or, and if you have let me actually find this one. I actually don't remember the wording on this card. This one I can't find the translations of. So the Sharheart Stride skill is on attack. So I was wrong about that too. GB2 on attack, CB1 flip anything, and put your front row rears into soul to gain 10k. If you have 10 or more, retire all of your opponent's rears and CC1 for every basic copy of him in your G zone. And then GB2 on the battle that's unit attacked, if you have 13 or more soul, glory effect again. So yeah, so this from at least for now, Dia's entire win con is just glory effects, which is like, it's cool, but it's pretty easily played around. But it's there. They have a cool gimmick, I guess, of multiple intercepts in the back row, tutoring PGs from soul, and then a bunch of glory effects, which is like okay, I guess. But I think this deck still like decks itself out quite a bit, and yeah. Overall, okay, probably not amazing, not terrible. And finally, we have Angel Feather. Again, I have no idea what half of these cards do. I just know that these cards are all like mediocre as hell. Rescue Check is just deck out turbo. There's basically no win con with this deck. You like flip a bunch of stands, and you kind of hope you've checked the stands. But yeah, the Gav Stride is on play. CB1 G flip to gain something skill, something Rescue Check. I honestly don't think Angels are good at all. I think Celestials are by far the best deck. I don't think any of these cards offer anything to either of these clans, to this clan at all whatsoever. If you care to find the translations, I'm sorry, I just don't care to go over this. I think these cards all suck. If the translations are somewhere, I just know that the Gav build that people are playing right now is like 9 stand, and they just lose the game because their deck doesn't do anything half the time. So yeah. So I'm sorry, this review is probably not that good, but honestly speaking, I genuinely do think that all the Angel cards are bad. I think if you're Angel, I don't think that for future investments maybe, but right now these cards are horrendously garbage. You do not need any of these cards in my opinion to play Angels. Just keep playing Celestials, keep your 4 rafts, call it a day for my set 4. But yeah, so this set, I think Blade Master is the standout. I think Blade Master is amazing. Gurgrit is probably playable, bare minimum. There could be something I'm missing that I don't know, but I think Gurgrit's really good, or at least playable is probably okay. DI is, I could just be missing something, but I don't think DI is particularly amazing either. And I think any Gav focused build is just bad. So yeah, so that's it for my early impressions of this set. Like, subscribe, all good stuff. Tell me guys what you think about this set down in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.